So today we're talking about how to gain full control over your time and income in 2025 and why remote jobs are not the answer to the freedom that you seek. So we're Paul and Sarah, and after a decade of working for ourselves and being fully nomadic for over 7 years, traveling with our kids and our pets in tow, we're all about living independently and fundamentally believe that there is no one way, there's your life, your way. And along this journey, we've discovered the real key to freedom that most people overlook.
Today, we're going to share the first step to gaining true independence, which is taking control of your time and income without relying on a remote job. But here's the thing, you might be stuck in the daily grind. We know, we were there, we were too. You're thinking a remote job is your escape, but the fact is, it still ties you to someone else's rules.
I think a lot of people are looking for remote jobs as a way to find more independence, freedom, and flexibility. But the fact is, you're still tied to a job. And what we want to do is to help shift you from a traditional employment mindset to that of an independent business owner. And to do this, it's going to require an entire shift in the way you think about both traditional employment and also rethink the way you've been taught about business. Because absolutely nothing that has been taught to us in the traditional sense is applicable in today's world. In fact, the current landscape is just like it's completely different. And the old ways are totally obsolete. It's just that we haven't caught up with it yet. So if you want to earn differently, you're going to have to think differently.
Everywhere we look, it's so crazy out there. Everything is so expensive, unaffordable. The food, the rent, the gas, the vehicles. And we're not going to argue about that because it is freaking crazy out there, guys. Particularly if you're trying to solve current problems with outdated methods of thinking. The job just isn't going to do it. So if your goal is to really set your life up for flexibility and freedom, we're here to tell you that this isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. The old adage comes true every time. Work smarter, not harder, but keep more of what you earn.
Because what if you could take back control over your income in your life without waiting for someone else to give you permission? And also, if this resonates with you, please do hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for a deeper dive on how you can start to regain your independence today. As we discussed earlier, in order to earn differently, you're going to have to think differently. And that starts with a concept that I coined a few years back called You Inc. And in a nutshell, what that means is that you become the business. So forget about finding that remote job that it just won't bring you freedom and that everybody else is competing for. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, there's like a million searches a month on remote jobs. Like that's just wild. Okay, I want you to forget about the shiny object business opportunities that everyone promises is the road to riches because in actuality, okay, you already have everything you need to build your own success. And the best part about this is that it's also your fastest way to putting real money in your actual bank account. You could have more money in the bank over the next few days if you really take what we're saying and put it into action.
So, what do we actually mean? And what are we talking about? I hear you asking it like it's so true, right? I was even asking it when I first started. But here's the thing. We really want you to think of this approach as making you the hub for all income generating activities. Think of your skills as being the product for your business. Right, guys, you already have these valuable skills and abilities, and so many people are willing to pay for them. And working for yourself as an IBO, an independent business owner, is actually the key to maximizing your income potential, whether you currently have a job or not, because this really works either way, right? If you got no money because you don't have a job, this will help you earn it. If you're already working and don't want to leave that stability, guess what? You don't have to. This method is completely tailored to you and your individual wants and needs.
What this approach does is make you the hub for all income generating activities. It gives you the freedom to choose projects that align with your lifestyle and values in developing you Inc. Okay. You as the business is the first step to gaining true independence. So you might be asking yourself, okay, well, why this way over, say, working remotely or working towards building an online business? Okay, so I'm going to break this down for you. So for one, if you're remotely employed, somebody else still owns you and your time. And for two, you don't get to take advantage of the biggest benefit of all, and that is the tax benefits that come along with owning your own business. Okay. So the major advantage of operating yourself as an independent business owner is the tax benefits. And this is one of those mindset shifts that we were talking about earlier. As an employee, like, you're heavily taxed. As a business owner, you get tax incentives. And really, like, we're not talking anything new here. This is really business 101. But most people really don't understand this basic concept and what it really means for your bank account when you're able to share your living costs with the business, because that's what operating yourself as a business can do for you. So, like, Paul, can you give them some examples?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest, guys, I didn't think about any of this when we started getting into business too. But for examples, right, like, we got to use write-offs for our home office, the space that we use, the rent, the insurance, the mortgage, if you're paying a mortgage, the heating, the phone bill, the internet. We got a percentage of that all back as tax write-offs. You get to write off travel expenses and eating out. Now, mind you, as long as it's for business purposes, but the list goes on, right? Anything that you use for your business that's also involved in your regular household, your coffee can become a write-off because that's technically a business expense. My home office, I need to have my cup of coffee, right? What does it really mean, though, Sarah? Like, we really break
Okay,
it
right.
down simply for people.
Okay, right. So if you're wondering what that even means, in its most simplistic terms, it means that your expenses are offsetting the profit that your business brings in, and that's deducted from your overall earnings. For example, let's just say you make $20,000, okay, but it cost you $10,000 in operating expenses, then your tax burden on your profit is actually on $10,000 and not $20,000. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, that totally makes sense, right?
Okay. Because as an employee, I know $20,000 could get you nowhere this year, but just flow with me on this example, okay? If you're earning $20,000 as an employee of the year, okay, you have automatic taxes that are just taken straight off your paycheck. So it is the worst. And the takeaway in this is that by creating your own paychecks, okay, you get to keep more of your income. Because first off, you're earning all of it. You're dealing with taxes at a separate time. So you have full 100% control of that money. And by creating these paychecks, you keep more of your income, and then you can actually invest that money back into your lifestyle and back into your business. You might be wondering, well, why don't I just go into an internet business or one of the shiny object business opportunities that everyone's trying to sell me on? And to that I'd say, because likely you've already tried a time and they probably failed. Okay.
So many
Been
times.
there, done that
Yep.
so many times. Okay. The answer to making money and putting it quickly into your account is literally to sell your skills and abilities. Because the reason that these are failing you is because the other businesses, they actually require a ton of skills and business knowledge to execute, which take years to master. Maybe this is even you. When you get into these businesses, you think either A, you're the failure, or B, the opportunity was a failure, it was a scam, and in fact, neither one of those is the case. So instead of that route, what if you could learn the ropes of business and make money at the same time?
That sounds
Okay,
pretty
like
damn good to
this
me,
is
right? Yeah.
what if this way, okay, you Inc., you being the business, what if this could put money in the bank right now and give you the opportunity to learn the additional skills you need to make the really big business opportunities work for you? The ones we're all chasing and doing and the millionaires are talking to us about. What if your current skills have the ability to put more than enough money in the bank now to surpass what you make currently as an employee and then some, because you no longer have a salary cap? Okay.
Wait a second.
You're-
So no cap on my income.
Right, because your boss now doesn't get to determine what your value is as an employee.
I get to earn from my current skills.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I get tax benefits instead of paying the government all this unneeded tax
Yeah.
to keep more money in my pocket.
Right.
It sounds like it sounds like, a dream, to be honest with you.
But like the thing is like it is actually so much more simple than what you think it is.
You're right
Okay.
on that. And I guess this is really what the power of writing your own paychecks will give us.
Yeah. Like we didn't figure.
Genius.
Yeah, I know. Like it took all the feeling and all the things to actually get us to this point. And when you became an independent contractor, we were like, ah.
Yep.
And then when we decided to expand a little bit further in business, honestly, you're like, how am I going to do this? We literally put out a survey to business owners that we knew, offering our skills, and asked them, do any of them need any of these things? If they did, how much money would they be willing to pay? And we literally just did that, sent it out to all the business owners that we knew, and literally to our, like,
Right.
we,
Right.
yeah.
Yep. Knocked on the door. Hello, we're
The
here.
next day we had to knock on our door. Well, a phone call first being
Yeah.
like, hey, saw this. Can I meet at your place tomorrow at 1:00? And I want to talk about what we can do for you. And overnight, I can't remember how much we put in the bank at that time, but I think it might have been something like $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would that change your life?
Right.
Oh, like honestly, if you
Right.
were just like, oh, okay, so I've got what I'm earning, but I've got skills that I can put out to my network. I just never thought that they were valuable to anyone else before, but I decided to ask some questions, and then someone in that network comes knocking on your door and is like, hey, let's sit down and do some business. Here's a check.
Right. No, and it did take some work on our part. Right. It required us to really shift our perspective, though,
Yes.
because we were still in the employee mindset for so long.
Yeah.
But once we started to shift our perspective to being and thinking like a business
Yeah.
owner, and not just the employee anymore, but acting as a business owner, because that's what we were becoming,
Yeah.
we started having a completely different mindset, right? We didn't think in terms of, paychecks and work and like the same way. And it really started to become what am I trying to say here, sir?
Okay, well, I would say it's like it requires shifting your perspective. Like we had to shift our perspective from that of an employee
Yeah.
to think like a business owner.
Right.
And not just as an employee, because as business owners, we now have a completely different mindset on money. So, for example, we're not thinking in terms of cost.
That's
We
right.
think, okay, we're right. Like
Yeah.
we're thinking in terms of ROI or return on investment, because for us, whether it's what we do with our time or our money,
Yep.
it's all an investment.
But-
So we look in terms of what is it going to bring back to us, and do we get joy or value or more money
Right.
in the bank for what we do, other than everything is a cost? Because when you're operating a business, things aren't a cost anymore. They're an investment and an expense.
Yep.
It's totally different, but it definitely takes like a total mind shift to come out of, I think, like an employee with my personal finances to I'm a business owner, and I would also say that the other thing is when you start surrounding yourself with other business owners, it gets really exciting because everyone is really willing to share their experience and their thoughts. And if you're like, hey, I got this skill, I can do this thing, it's amazing how much other business owners want to help you or know someone to help you on your journey, or the people that you meet that are also in your same space starting out, and you help each other out
Yep.
to get to where you're going.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
everything
Like it's a
changes.
total shift of like everything that you're doing. And it just comes naturally as you start to build and think of yourself differently.
And
No
put
longer
yourself in that world.
exactly. So basically, operating yourself and using your own skills and abilities to literally be the business is the pathway that we use to really gain our true freedom. Like we were stuck in it wasn't even a 9 to 5 grind. I was working the 9 to 5. Sarah was working the 7 to 2.
Yeah.
And because we had the kids and we didn't want to put them in daycare or babysitters or anything like that, we really put ourselves into a terrible position. But as we started to build using our skills, our business, and becoming our own business, it really did start to give us the freedom and the flexibility because we were able to see each other more and be around and experience the family and the stuff that we are meeting, right? So we really encourage each and every one of you that are still watching this right now to start seeing yourself as a business. Like that is our goal, is to really
Right.
get through to you that you can be a business, right? And to know that you really possess the skills and abilities that are so highly valuable,
Right.
right? In the open marketplace out there right now, like people just don't understand. Like one lady I work with, she was talking about how her husband has all these copywriting skills, but they never looked at it as something that he could do as an independent business because they never looked at the skills that he uses in his daily job because of traditional constraints, right? It's just part of he's a teacher, so that's what he does. But he has so many other skills and abilities that he can use. And as soon as they started thinking about themselves as a solopreneur and running their own businesses, it's really, really changed the way that they've looked at their future. So don't take the traditional constraints of that job market out there. We got to push that aside. Most people are competing in that versus right now, it's time to create your own space using your unique skills.
And I'd also like to add to that because I know a lot of people are struggling month to month, and we understand what that's like. And there's also no words to describe what it means, what to your life when you actually alleviate that burden. So like the first month when you earn all that extra income that goes right in and you can breathe a sigh of relief and you all of a sudden like your life just starts to change even at that point because you don't have the stress of, oh God, what bill do I have to choose between to get things done today? Or life starts to change when you make these small different decisions and you don't have to spend that much of your time really to make a fulfilling and meaningful impact to your bottom line, your mindset, and where it leads you from there. I just like my main thing here is to stress like a remote job is not really going to solve it. I mean, it's great if you can get one and you're like working from home and you can use some of these skills. Do not get me wrong. Same with, there is nothing wrong with pursuing these other business opportunities. It's just that the fastest way to build your income and to learn the skills that will actually bring you the greater success or the real freedom and flexibility is in learning business on a small scale. In using your skills and natural abilities is the products for the business to learn that. Learn how to create an invoice, learn the terms of business, how it works, like all of these things, I believe are the reason that most people are not succeeding in the crazy amount of opportunities that there are there to do it. And everyone thinks everything is a scam. And it's totally not that way at all.
Right.
Like,
Right. I couldn't agree more, Sarah. I could not agree more.
honestly,
If you really want to dive deeper into how to make this process work for you, because it worked for us, we know it worked for us, we know it can work for other people. What we've created is a simple 3-step framework that breaks our concept down even further. And it's called the $1,000 plus shortcut, why most hustles fail and what actually works. In it, you're going to learn how to find your valuable skills, learn how to package that value, and monetize it fast. The best part, this is completely free. We're not trying to get you to pay us. We're not trying to scam you here or anything like
I
that.
don't even want you to download any.
No, it's not even a download. We are creating a weekly newsletter. It's filled with valuable tips and tricks to fast track your freedom and independence. And this is just the first one. All you have to do to get on the list is visit theindependentlifestyle.com/list or click the link in the description above, below, depending on which platform we're on. The mindset shift is what opens the door to an independent and truly flexible life. Our wish for you is to build your life on your terms, because the only life worth living is your life, your way. So if you enjoyed this video, guys, hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and click the link in the description so you get the 3-step framework to turn your skills into cash in the bank. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.